Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. As you know that Mount Everest is the highest point on the earth, whose peak is 2931.7 feet high. It of course attracts the attention from professional mountain climbers as well as simple enthusiasts, and Mount Everest has been summoned by daring climbers many times, but that doesn't lessen its majesty. The feeling you experience looking out from the tall mountain at the world below is hard to describe in words. It can only be experienced. What is Everest so? Why do so many people spend tons of money to climb the highest point in the world? What difficulties wait for them, and where is that point where the risk to stay there forever sharply rises, where your guiding your friends will probably just leave you behind? We'll answer these questions and more in today's video. So the mountain has three names, but the most popular is Everest. The mountain received this name in 1865 in honor of surveyor Sir George Everest, who was the first to determine the mountain's location and height. Tibetans call the mountain Ma, meaning Holy Mother, and the Nepalese call it Sagar Matha, meaning the head in the great blue sky. They both consider the mountain holy, and they're not pleased with the constant tourists, but they also make good money leading them to the top. Both experienced climbers and amateurs who simply want to set a record go to climb to the top. Now we want to make sure to mention that climbing Everest is one of the most expensive tourist activities you could ever do. Check this: the average cost for the trip is at least $40,000 to $70,000. Climbing Everest, that makes a week at Disney look a lot better, right? But if someone is destined to conquer Everest, someone else will just pay to start without seeing the top. Only about 50% of climbers make it to the top, and the rest have to head back down. Many climbers frequently recognize the risk of not returning, so each attempt is accompanied with doubts of, will I see my friends or family ever again? So those that have climbed it more than once or twice compare Everest to space or to the bottom of the ocean floor, because to get to the top you actually need to use oxygen canisters. Since the height of over 5 miles is where the so-called dead zone begins, that's where you start suffocating due to lack of oxygen and your cells start dying one after another. Samples taken from 4 climbers at 5 miles high show that the level of oxygen in their blood was 4 times lower than normal. Those numbers are usually seen in patients before they died. That's what Dr. Jeremy Windsor, who studied the sample, set. Dangers: he personally climbed Everest in 2007. Now American climber David Brashears compared that high to running while having to breathe through a straw. It's worth remembering that the route to the base camp at a height of 3.3 miles and the climbing will take about 3 months. The human body isn't equipped to naturally handle such extreme conditions, so there are often times where climbers have cerebral and pulmonary edemas. To maintain the necessary oxygen levels, the heart starts beating faster and can reach 140 beats per minute. This sharply increases the risk of a stroke or heart attack. Now additionally, the dead zone hides other dangers like losing your vision, frostbite, or falling from sudden exhaustion. Another difficulty is that the wind at the top of Everest can reach speeds of 450 miles per hour, similar to a strong hurricane. The scariest thing that can happen is the so-called alpine psychosis. That's where you lose your sense of reality and forget where you are and start experiencing auditory and visual hallucinations. There are known cases when climbers started taking their clothes off even though the temperature at the top of Everest is -4 to -22 degrees Fahrenheit. Dead zone, and they may even talk to imaginary friends. Then there are those who stay sane in the dead zone, but their bodies just start failing. There's problems with sleeping. It gets hard to fall asleep and equally hard to wake up. Muscles atrophy and people quickly lose weight. Fatigue and poor vision increase the risk of falling. The inability to clearly think and make decisions is threatening. This is for no. If you want to know more about this and want it part 2, so like and comment and subscribe the channel to 50,000.